hydrocarbon, as we have discussed in the day one regarding the halogenated hydrocarbon. So we have discussed the oil pollutions, and oil we have seen that is basically made from carbon and hydrogen. So that is also called hydrocarbon. So all the pollutant, basically the carbon and hydrogen is the main material for the pollutant. Even the oil is also, we have seen all the oils is also called hydrocarbons, because it is mainly composed of hydrogen and carbon. And here we will see halogenated hydrocarbon. This is halogen is one of the group of these periodic tables, and we will see that what are the halogenated hydrocarbons and how its impact on the marine environment. And the beginning, I told you that the most of the cosmetics, starting from cosmetics to material what we are using in our day-to-day life, the productions of this all the materials, starting from paper even, okay, starting from paper to any material, there is a halogenated hydrocarbons are used in that particular industry. So industrial pollutions that reach to the oceans is full with halogenated hydrocarbon. So we'll see what is, first we'll see what is halogenated hydrocarbon. So it's one of the group, I told you it is one of the group of halogen derived hydrocarbon, and that is basically organic hydrogen and carbon, and halogen derived hydrogen and carbon. And there is a two monohalogen. Mono means one single, and halide, okay. And poly, mono or poly, mono means one and poly means multiple halogen are present in that particular molecules. Okay, there are some different halogenated hydrocarbon you see here. It's one trichloroethane, one trichloroethane. So you see in one positions, and three chlorine in present in one of the carbon. So that is called one trichloroethane. Three hydrogens present in one of the carbon, and three chlorine present in one of the carbon. So one trichloroethane. And another is so all the bromide, chloride, fluoride, iodide, they are basically all the halogenated.
Doctor,
Yes,
we cannot see the slides is moving forward.
it's not showing.
No, it's in the first slides.
Okay, just
Yeah, it's moving now.
no, just need to make it full screen, then it will come. So now it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yeah. So that this is the halogenated hydrocarbon. It is consist of mono or tri or multiple polyhalogen carbon. So you see that all the fluoride, chloride, bromide, iodide, all of these things are basically hydrocarbons. So as first day we have talked about DDT, diphenyl dichloroethane. That DDT is also one of the halogenated hydrocarbon. So whatever we are using, starting from our day-to-day life, all the materials, the productions of all the material, they are using the halogenated hydrocarbons, and also the pesticide, insecticide, whatever it is, all the chemicals. And that all the halogenated hydrocarbons have huge impact on the marine life. We'll see how it is impacted on the marine life. So here some of the example, any chemicals that are with fluoride, chloride, and bromide, iodide. So these are basically halogenated substitute. So here are the few examples are here. DDT is also halogenated hydrocarbon. Then others are here. So what are the source? As I told you that the source of everywhere, mainly the anthropogenic source, then the petroleum inputs. So all the petroleum industry, they are basically hydrocarbon, and the output, or the, I can say that the extracted material from the petroleum industry it could be naphthalene, then the others. So whatever the processing of the petroleum product that are basically generate a huge amount of halogenated hydrocarbon. And partially burning fuels. So some fuels is not fully burned, sometimes it is partially burned. And then just like you can change the in your car you are changing the engine oil, okay, in certain kilometer duration. So that the whole oil it's not fully burned, okay. So that is basically a source of what is happening with that unused after the use of this particular oil. So that is also a huge industrial input that goes to the oceans from those industry. And any kind of biosynthesis, biological productions or biosynthesis or biochemical reactions also generating a halogenated hydrocarbon. So there is an anthropogenic source, and also there is a what is called natural source of the halogenated hydrocarbons are there. So some of the natural source it is also present in the rocks, minerals, and when it leach through the oceans to reach to the ocean through the atmosphere, through the runoff from the rocks or any other material. Uh, then it reach to the oceans and it impact a huge environmental and health related issues, starting from the biomagnifications we know, and we'll discuss those things also here in later on. So the source are basically the anthropogenic, industrial, mainly anthropogenic industrial, and also there is a natural sources are there of the halogenated hydrocarbon. So if you see some of the compound and their use, so some of the compound that is acetyl tetrabromide. So I told you all the bromide, chloride, iodide, they are basically halogenated hydrocarbon. So acetyl tetrabromide, this is one of the compound, chemical compound. What is the use of this one? It is used in solvent, any kind of solvent. Then refractive index, fluid, liquid in microscope. So not only the any liquid that is generating in industrial purposes, just like even your coolant in the car. So that is also basically one kind of solvent, and that is also having this kind of halogenated hydrocarbon. Then carbon tetrachloride that used in the fridge or in the drying industry or in the fire extinguisher. So different solvent, or the even soft drink companies. Okay, soft drink companies, any cleaning, any detergent or dry industry, dry cleaning, fire extinguisher, everywhere those chemicals are used. Then chloroform, you know, that is basically used for anesthetic conditions, to in the surgery, in the medical industry they are using a lot of chloroform for the anesthesia. And then the dichloroethane, one two dibromide ethane, then one di so different peron, fluorocarbon, methyl bromide. So all the chemicals they having the halogenated hydrocarbon, and most of their use in the different industry, starting from the solvent to different chemical agent to refrigerator, fire extinguisher to paint industry, painting, okay, paint industry, then different cleaning, dry cleaning, or different other industry use all those kind of halogenated hydrocarbons. Then here is also some of the chemicals of derived from methane, CH4, and you see these are the some of the formula of this one, and the methyl chloride, chloroform, halogen, and the methyl chloroform, ethanyl dichloride. So all of these their chemical names and their source. This is almost the similar from the last slide, but again in details with the chemical formula. So mainly used in the different industry, plastic industry, rubber industry. I mean, I told you whatever the material we are using in our day-to-day life and their productions, all the industry they are using this halogenated hydrocarbon. So the source is everywhere, and the amount is also getting high because it is everywhere. So what is happening to the life, how it is become toxic? So there is a some of the important factor. One is the patch and one is the path. So patch is the polyalkyl aromatic hydrocarbon. So by the name you can see aromatic hydrocarbon. So aromatic means there is a aroma. Aroma means there is a smell. There is a smell is coming. So polyalkyl aromatic hydrocarbon patch is a very commonly used chemical in everywhere. Okay, and that chemical is basically very dangerous because it create a cancer. So it is a cancer creating agent, so that is called carcinogen. And there is another compound that is called PCB and PAH, patch and pass. PCBs, they are very widely used chemical, and they are used in different industries. So PCBs is also one of the chemicals of the halogenated hydrocarbon, and the main problem is that they are create cell mutations, and they are basically mutagenic and carcinogenic. So they create cancer causing effect. So they are highly poisonous, those chemicals, and they can mutations happen in the genetical material of any living organisms. Okay, not only human, any living organism, starting from marine invertebrate to higher vertebrate also. So those patch is basically consist of different chemicals molecules. It is almost a hundred diverse compound, uh, and it composed of hydrocarbon only. And you will find out those hydrocarbons and basically in organic state, and it is used in every industry, starting from plastic, dye industry, pesticide, or different, even the pharmaceutical industry. Okay, medicine, pharmaceutical industry, and their effects is very high. They are basically carcinogenic agent, and they can change the mutation or the change in the genetical material, that is called mutation. So that is highly poisonous to any living organisms in the aquatic body, and they are water soluble. Okay, so these are the organic matter and organic molecules. So they are basically soluble in the water, and it is means highly dangerous for the living organisms. Then next one is the PCBs. PCBs is polychlorinated biphenyl. So PCBs is also a different industry having the source of the PCBs. And PCBs is also, again, it is toxic, carcinogenic, and it is slowly biodegradable in the body. So it will reach to the small to larger organisms and reach to the higher organism, and it is amplified. So it is one of the cause that can that chemicals from industry to reach to the oceans. Then it reach to the in the food chain. It starting from phytoplankton to the large organisms, it is accumulating and magnifying the concentrations of the PCBs and PAH, and they are basically very dangerous because it's a carcinogenic and mutagenic in nature. So PCBs, as you see on your left side, that everywhere, print industry, even newspaper. So that is that the color. Oh, even we are using our day-to-day print out, whatever it is in our garment, whatever it is, the color used, any pesticide, any insecticide, any chemicals, even in the pharmaceutical industry, any motor vehicle industry, everywhere they are used these PCBs. So what is this PCBs? Where it's found at the beginning, it is it discovered in 1970s in US. So before that, the chemicals was not discovered. And then what is the science behind it, and how to uh, cope up with this with the hazard? So to avoid this PCBs and pH or the hydrocarbon hazard, what to do? We have to be much more concerned, and also to advise to avoid those use of this chemical. So that's why whenever you see that newspaper, you if you rub the newspaper little bit, that the ink will come out on your hand. So every time you have to, it's better to any chemicals whenever you are using, so it's better to use and clean hand or hygiene maintain, so that can be minimized little bit, but those chemicals are with us in our lifestyle. So source, natural source and the biological source and anthropogenic source. Here is it is volcanic eruptions to forest fire, then biosynthesis, bioorganic chemical reactions. These are the source of different natural source, and anthropogenic source, as I told you, all the industries and their effluent to reach the oceans, and then it is in different forms. It can be the what is the fate of these chemicals into the oceans. When it reach the oceans, it will be as we already discussed those things into the oil pollutions. So emulsification, dissolutions, then settlement, sedimentations, then volatilizations, or we can say evaporation. Okay, absorptions into the aquatic organism, biodegradations, bioaccumulation, sedimentation. So everything is happening when the chemical reach to the oceans. Okay, so but most dangerous things is the absorptions into the organic organisms, and starting from in the food chain, it enter into the food chain, and then it reach to us also by the biomagnification and bioaccumulations are also in the food chain. So there is a new concept come in the recent time, that the food chain is the concept of food chain is now changing. That only we know that the food chain is basically that each and every tropic level they are eating themselves. Okay, so now, so this is the normal food chain. The phytoplankton eating zooplankton, zooplankton eating small fish eating large fish eating the very large fish, then we are eating them. So this is the normal food chain, but new food chain is coming. The chemicals or microplastics, they are eating by the other organisms, and then we are eating. So the food chain is changing, the microplastics into the food chain, chemicals also incorporate into the food chain, because in 20-30 years back, the use of those chemical and the concept of microplastic, those of the things will not be then, not be there. So think about 1980s, it was very less extreme, and the concept of microplastic was not there, and those are the things. So now the concept of the food chain and concept of these chemicals and the marine pollution is totally changing, and it is the high time to think about those things, because it's rich everywhere. It's rich everywhere, and the increase of those chemicals are the amount is increasing day by day. So it having in our food chain also, so there is a lot of halogenated hydrocarbons, and even that is here. It is also one of the good thing to explain this one, because this when why I'm telling this one, because we here in Oman, we like the grill things too much. So on the, you see on the left side, the grill any product, or whether it is fish or chicken, whatever it is, grill that in having very high amount of carcinogenic. Okay, so grill things, it is rich with the halogenated hydrocarbon, whatever it is. It can be, and it rich to it reach to in all the food, in food whatever we are consumed day by day, and the amount is increasing in the recent year. So as I told you, that 10 years or 20 years back, that was not in the syllabus, but now it is coming in very high amount. So the recent year, in 10 years, it is increased a very high amount, and the cause of different cancer just coming from liver cancer or whatever it is the gastrointestinal or different things. The lung cancer, those are coming from kidney, whatever it is, that coming from those PCB or PCH, or the or basically the hydrocarbon. It is obvious if you see the some of the medical records. So most of the lung cancer is basically non-smoker. Okay, is usually they are telling and the woman. Okay, if you see the some of the global statistics, they are telling that the who have the lung cancer, they don't even smoke in their lifetime. So the things are also changing, because in our environment those chemicals are everywhere. So the amount of pollutions are increased a lot, so that are rich. So they don't know what are the reason behind those because those are the carcinogenic chemicals. So who never reach smoking, never. So he or she are mainly impacted with the lung cancer. So these are the because of these chemicals are everywhere. So even I told you one thing. If you new paint anywhere new paint, so you can feel the smell. It's very high, rich in the hydrocarbon amount, and that is in organic material, volatile condition, and it reach to our lungs easily. So whenever any painting going on, you can feel the strong smell, and that having very high amount of these chemicals in volatile condition can reach to our lungs in very easily. Next is everything what we are eating and what is in our environment we are taking, everything having very high amount of these compounds, and that leads to different organ problem, and it also leads to in our hormone system. In each and everything in our body is controlled by the hormone, that chemicals. Okay, so it estrogen, androgen, thyroid, whatever it is, all the disease, everything in our whole body is basically controlled by this hormone. And whenever those chemicals is concentration is rich in the human body, the hormone dysfunction or the problems associated with the hormone is increasing. So that's why the concept is called environmental estrogen. Earlier it was not there. So environmental estrogen, it is coming, the increase of or disrupt the estrogen or different hormonal imbalance in the human body. It's due to those kind of chemicals. Okay, so environmental estrogen, you can just read or write, read in Google or anywhere. Just type down environmental estrogen. Okay, and then you will find out more details on it. Okay, so what is happening in our human body, all the changes due to the hormonal disbalance, those are because of those chemicals are intact in through different way in our food chain to in our body. So what we can do for it? So there is a way to solve the use of those chemicals need to be reduced, and then we have to think about that safer way to reduce those chemicals in our aquatic system, to in other system also. So there is some of the concept they are coming to reduce in a normal way, or in biological way, or also in chemical way. So biological way, the mitigations of reducing the hydrocarbon is the phytoremediations, is and bioremediations and chemical remediation. So these three concept is very popular. Phytoremediation means, phyto means plant. Okay, so the plant, they have the ability to absorb those chemicals. Okay, some of the plants, okay, they have the, just like mangroves. I told you mangroves and the wetland, whenever we read in which course in ICADM, we have talked about a lot. So mangrove, they are basically pollution sinker. So they are basically sink or absorb the pollutant. Okay, and also the wetland, they are basically the filter or the kidney of the landscape, we talk about it. Okay, then seagrass there, so those are the phyto means the plant, they have the ability to absorb those chemicals and store in their body, so they can basically help to reduce the amount of those chemicals from the aquatic environment and from the soil and everywhere. So phytoremediation is one of the best methods. And then bioremediations, lot of, we'll see in the next slide. So bioremediations, so different bacteria or different basically the microorganisms, they have the ability to break down those chemicals into a simpler chemical, because you see that DDT, dichlorothiophenyl. So if you break this carbon chain or the hydrogen chain or the chlorine chain, the chemical will break down into carbon, hydrogen, chlorine. Then it is not an pollutant and not dangerous. But if you pull them, then it's make a one three trichlorobromide like this. Then this is a pollutant. But if you break it, so then it's carbon separate, chlorine separate, bromine separate. Then it is not, and because those are the essential material is required. But those chemicals, combinations of those chemicals will become a different chemicals, then they will make. So that's the bioremediation is also, those are the lot of microorganisms, they are basically break them, and they help to reduce the concentrations of these chemicals into the environment. And then another example is the chemical remediations. So as I told you, there is a, everything have a chemical reactions. So if some of the chemical we can use different solvent or different other chemical, they can break down those chemicals. Okay, just here on the right side you have the example one, sulfur oxide, sulfur dioxide with hydrogen or water, it will make an breakdown into different parts, so it will reduce the effect of those halogenated hydrocarbon. So those are recent research is going on more on how to reduce the impact of those halogenated hydrocarbon from the environment. And new things are coming out, science and research can do everything. As we know that the even spending almost 6 or 9 months from the space, the human beings are able to return back, we have seen in the recently. So the due to change in the science and technology, everything is possible. So science is developing to reduce the effect of this pollutant from the environment, and this is the high time to think about it. Then we will talk about DDT in the past, several time, not one time. So the you see that after ban of the DDT in 1970s, the history that 1960s, after the Rachel Carson book in 1962, then the government think about it to stop the use of DDT. Then what to do with the store DDT? Then in US, they what they did, they is dumping all the DDT which is stored in the everywhere. So they dumped that DDT into the oceans. Okay, and now they dump it in 1980s or 70s. Okay, and now those impacts are coming, start coming. This all the news you are find out in this slide is very recently, 2 to 3 years back. Okay, so 2 to 3 years back, so in they are dumping in Los Angeles, offshore of the Los Angeles, and they find out that impact of those dumping of DDT is having a huge impact on those particular coastline. The particular coastline is almost lacking the marine life. Okay, because those dumped DDT tank into the oceans, they have dumped there, and those are now leaked, and they have dumped it there. And then you just read those news, it's already there, and they become rich to the water and the surrounding, and it become a huge impact on the marine life of this particular area. So that is also another reason that we are using the ocean as a dumping ground. And due to this dumping, it will not now, maybe in near future, it make a huge problem in the near future. So we almost came to the end. So as you know, the biomagnification, bioaccumulation, the concept, no need to discuss more. But here we have seen that how PCBs and patch pH, how it reach to the organisms in high concentration day by day. It's increasing, and mainly the marine piece is very high concentrations of those particular chemicals due to the bioaccumulations. So as I told you, the concept was earlier not there, but recently it increased a lot amount because of those chemicals are the use of those chemicals is increase with human demand and human population increase and reach to the oceans and reach to in our food chain. So this is common. No need to discuss bioconcentrations, bioaccumulations, and biomagnifications. So these are the three important concepts every time we are using, and this is the main three things for the mainly the marine pollutions. Okay, so this all about this hydrocarbon pollutions, and here you have to read about the source, impact, and mitigations. Okay, so that's all about the hydrocarbon